think I want to begin by confessing I just came back from a family camping trip. I'm one of three sisters, all three sisters, their partners, their children, my nieces, my nephews, my great-nephew, what a koan it is to be a human being. It's such a delight and it's like, oh my goodness. So, families within families. Sangha is a family. Mahasangha is a family. The whole world is a family. And these, the koans we've been studying recently, in Soto Zen tradition are family stories. It's different than in Rinzai, where it's really the core curriculum. Although I have to say it's been really fun this morning where you all come in and just present your koan. I think this is cool. We should do this more. So the stories echo across space and time, and we confront and meet the language of the ancients, China, Japan, to us, and then find out what does this have to do with right now. This very life, this very time. So I'm happy that I'm going to present today about a Baizhang or Hakujo, but we'll use the Chinese and Japanese names, but we'll say Baizhang today, and the fox. I love the fox. Chelsea's smiling. Chelsea teaching about the fox with the family program, and Shelley and Elle and Ellis. So it's so great. There's this whole family program that's sprung out of this. That's having given birth, created, given birth to, and raised a child the first years of his life in a Zen monastery. I'm so grateful for a family program that acknowledges this whole beautiful, I was talking to somebody this morning, the whole holy mess of a human life and family is it. This is it. Nothing left out. So let me read you the koan. And I'm using the translation from Zen Echoes, classic koans with verse commentaries by three female Zen masters. Most of the commentaries and koans have traditionally had men at the center of them, so it's really wonderful that this commentary has brought forward some of the wisdom of our women ancestors. But I'm going to give you a whole lot of different commentaries today, including my own, and then hopefully you'll have some of your own too. Case 14, Baizhang's fox. There was an old man who, whenever Baizhang, the teacher, would enter the hall, would join the assembly to listen to the Dharma. One day everybody left. One day everybody had left except for the old man. So Baizhang asked him, "Who are you?" He said, "I am not a human being. In the past, during the time of the Kashapa Buddha, I resided on this mountain. And one day, a student asked me, is a person who has cultivated himself greatly still subject to cause and effect or not? I answered, no. He or she is not subject to cause and effect. Therefore, for 100 lifetimes, I have been condemned to assume the body of a wild fox. Today, I ask you to say a turning phrase. We've been talking about turning phrases for me so that I may shed this wild fox's body." And Baizhang said to him, "Ask me a question." And so the old man asked him, "Is a person who has cultivated themselves greatly still subject to cause and effect or not?" And Baizhang replied, They do not ignore the law of cause and effect. They do not ignore the law of cause and effect. And when the old man heard this, he experienced a great enlightenment and paid reverent obeisance, saying, I have already shed my wild fox body. There's a bit more, but we're not going to do the whole thing today. So foxes. I think I've told some of you when I got to travel in Japan with Everyday Zen, there was a store that was closed, but in the window there was a fox in a monk's robe. I thought it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. And Norman Fisher was right there, because I said, I want that, I still want it. But I couldn't go back to it. And Norman Fisher said, oh, you don't want that, because wild foxes are, that image in Japan is that foxy teachers are not, they can do harm. You know, there's abuse of power and sexual abuse, and you do not want. That's probably not an archetype you want to pick up. But I felt, and I still feel, and now the more I study it, I'm so sure I'm right. No. We're all wild foxes, and we all need to be in vow bodies, waking up. And of course, people in positions of responsibility, which is all of us, and including teachers, do no harm. But if you don't know that you're a wild fox, that's exactly what you're going to do harm. So, so just a little thing about the fox. In China, in the Tang Dynasty, the fox was in morality tales and was a sacred divine messenger. In Japan, which I think was more what Norman was referring to, because when you're in Japan, there are lots of fox symbols everywhere, and it's a really prevalent figure in their folklore, and it's a shapeshifter. I think it's a little bit like a coyote. It's a symbol of liminality. So I looked up liminality. Of or relating to being in an intermediate state, phase or condition, in between and transitional. Which is, of course, every moment. Every moment is, I mean, if you think linearly, it's this moment conditions this moment. It's cause and effect. But in the sense of, I'm getting ahead of myself, but Dharma eyes is the whole world, each moment across time and space completely comes to fruition in this very moment. Every moment is liminal and transitional and flashing in and out of existence. So when Bai Zhang says, who stands here? Who are you? And the response is, I'm not a human being. And the cause and effect, there's some way to get out of cause and effect. It's just such a great story, because the traditional understanding would be that was a really wrong answer. But I think we can hold it from the place of it. It's not just me, there's other commentaries. Is that what happened when he said that is he fell into a wild fox cave body. That's the phrase for it, a wild fox cave body. It's like he thought he was above it all. And in his head, and taking Buddhist teachings and saying this is this and this is that. But in that moment, that was such a profound turning question, and his response was exactly the old man, what he knew in the moment, and so completely incomplete that he fell back into, he fell into a wild fox cave body, which is he fell into his karma. He fell into his delusion. He fell into, you thought you knew something, and look again. Keep looking forever. Because falling into a fox cave body is where we wake up and where we practice. This is it. This is what bodhisattvas do. It's like, oh, okay, here I am, the whole holy mess. Cause and effect, yep, this leads to this, and without this doesn't happen, and there is cause and effect. And can you feel the simultaneity of the linear and the wide open expansive? Let your heart and mind right now and your ears soften and just feel where does it all begin and where does it all end? And the whole world meets us right here. And we each take responsibility. Just this, just here. And it's in a world of great mystery and wonder. And we get more and more humble. And our compassionate hearts more and more open. And a wisdom eye, Dharma eye, right in the midst of this and that. So here's Stephen Hine wrote a commentary about this koan. Here's what he says. Fox transfiguration represents the crossing of boundaries, seen and the unseen, and the possibility of conquering illusion during times of transition and transformation. And then he says, especially in moral crisis, which it seems to me we are deeply in a time of moral crisis, when conventional reality is challenged, undermined, or otherwise called into question. So, again, what a great time to be a bodhisattva and to be investigating what it is to be a wild fox and to be upright and present in the midst of this wild fox body. Which is where we study and we transmute our delusions into compassion, and where we become, which seems to me the point of this whole thing, is to become a true human being. It's like, if you like enlightenment, go for it. But for me, it's just be a true human being. Be present here, along with all beings. So here's just a couple of things to put it in context. Is you may have noticed when I read the koan, talk about the age of Kashapa, when the old man resided on the mountain. So the time of Kashapa is the final 7 primordial Buddhas before Shakyamuni Buddha. So we like to think that Shakyamuni Buddha, which was a Buddha body, that we think of the Buddha of this era, was a human being who we are grateful for, bow to, because he said, I want to wake up in this body and this life with and for all beings. And he did that. He sat under a tree, he touched the earth, deep resolve. But in fact, there are 7 Buddhas before Buddha, and Buddhas before that, and Buddhas before that, which means Buddhas have been doing this across space and time, which is also you, and me, and each one of us. So this has been going on forever, this koan and this question. Is there cause and effect? Do you think you can get away with things? I do, all the time. Whoops. I guess I need to pay attention and learn that one again. There is cause and effect. And we fall down and we get up. And life is one constant mistake, and this is where we learn. So here's another interesting, I think, piece of foxes have been on this planet longer than all other canids. Canids, is that the right word, dogs? In evolutionary circles, they are called the basal canid, the original dog. An unbroken genetic lineage that goes back perhaps as far as 12 million years. A gray fox is an ancient thing. What a great symbol, huh? Ancient Buddhas across time and space, and gray foxes across time and space. Here we are. So we've been talking about this some that in early Buddhism there was the belief, the teaching, that when you were enlightened you were free and that you could escape this whole thing. We don't really want that, don't we? Mahayana Buddhism, the path of the Bodhisattva, came along and said, you might want to look a little more deeply. That conditioned and unconditioned, the only difference between what you think is getting out of it and being here is just where your view is. It all depends on how you're seeing. Buddhas see with infinite compassion. They see a vast network of causality, a flow of time and events. See a conditioned world where we're born and shaped and we have problems and we have hopes and fears. We like it, we don't like it. We're caught in cause and effect and we believe it and we suffer. This is why you go have weekends with your family. It was also so wonderful, you know, it's just like the whole wonderful mess. And unconditioned, we and the whole lineage of my family, your family, the human family, everything, the whole world is so much more than that. We know that. And we're projecting everything. We're creating and co-creating the world moment after moment, you know, through these little views of family and culture and time. But everything is always transforming and becoming something else, and it's alive. This is it. This is the great mystery. And it's completely wondrous and mysterious. And our job is to just live like Buddha, touch the earth, sit upright, present, right in the midst of it, meeting reality as it is, all of it. Causes and conditions across time and space create this very moment. You can argue with it, you probably will argue with it, or think, wow, I got it, this is great. I mean, and it's all of the above, but fundamentally, it's just continuous practice. Just bow, just bow, just this, just this. So I think I got this commentary from Stephen Hine. Is in the Koan, the old man would go to Dharma lectures, he says, disguised as his former self, looking like the old man, and would slip in and out, coming and going. So in the shadows, seen and not seen, liminal, here I am, no, I'm not here. And one day he stayed. He let himself be seen. He came out of the shadows and into the awareness. It's like Dokusan, meet yourself. He let himself be seen. And Baizhang said, I see you. Who are you? And he got to tell his story, which actually I hadn't thought of that part of it. But that when he told, I mean, we all want to be witnessed, right? It's like we didn't have much time today to do that, but people's stories are really important. It's like, what brought you here? What are the 100 million causes and conditions that brought you to this moment? We're human beings. Our stories need to be witnessed. And in the witnessing of it, something opened and turned. turned because Baijan wasn't judgmental, didn't pull away, didn't project. He just saw him when the old man confessed. Yeah, I've been wandering around not knowing in the wilderness forever. And I just want to come home. Help me. I just want to be a human being in this body, in this life with everybody. Help me. So now I'm going to begin to weave in and out what we're doing this afternoon, which is taking vows, or a vow body, for the body that just says, I know there's suffering. I've been waking up in it across time and space. Please help me to come home to my heart and my body. And so in the ceremony this afternoon, and when we do full moon ceremonies, and the verse of repentance is so, it's one of my most favorite things. All my ancient twisted karma, from beginningless greed, hate, and delusion, born through body, speech, and mind, I now fully avow. Yep. Greed? You know about it? I know about it. Yep. I want it. Yeah. Desires? Oh yeah. Hate, aversion? I know about it. Get me out of here. Yep. Just don't like it. Would you please stop doing that? I mean, 100 million hate. I mean, you know, we really get to watch that in these times, both out there and in here. Delusion, confusion, projection, othering, you and me, self and other. It's a solid, it's never going to change. Oh, I think I can go over and around it, you know, 100 million different delusions. It's born moment after moment through this very human body of body, speech, and mind, and I fully avow. I want to wake up. I want to come home with everybody for the sake of everybody, because I now understand suffering. Well, at least I have a taste of it. And it hurts, and everybody's hurting. And then it's transmuted into compassion. And then when there's compassion, there's kindness to self, there's kindness to other, there's right speech, right activity, right. But fundamentally, this verse now is, to me, it's just, I'm a human being. You don't have to do shame, you don't have to put anything extra on top of it. It's just once you start with, I'm a human being with all other human beings, it's like there's this great spaciousness that opens with practice. So here's from Dogen, Eihei Kuroku, Dharma Hall Discourse 94. After relating the story of Buddha and the fox, the teacher Dogen said, mountains, rivers, and the great earth are the cave of the wild fox. Mountains, rivers, and the great earth are the cave of the wild fox. This is it. Receive and discard one piece of skin, flesh, and bones. Fully receive skin, flesh, and bones. This is it. Don't try to skip the body. And you can also drop body and mind moment after moment. The liminality of the evanescence of the shimmering of reality. Then he says, cause and effect are very clear. And it's not a personal matter. This is not because you're a bad person. It's just you're a little confused, or a lot confused, depending on the moment. Partridges sing incessantly in the late spring, and 100 flowers vanish. Just keep coming home. This very body. Illuminate this very body, this heart and mind with humility and wonder. Stay close to the ground. Stay close to this heart that breaks and wakes up. Know your foxy delusions. My Dharma brother, Jay Semino, who I love dearly, he was such a fox. Jay Semino loved Isan Dorsey, who we'll just call forward during this time of pride. Isan Dorsey was a super fox and a heart as big as the whole world. Celebrate your wild fox spirit. This is not about getting over your wild fox spirit. This is about waking up in the center of it. Come home to your true self. I'll just tell a little story. I was sitting sessions with Everyday Zen. Everybody, there's night sitting. We'll do session. I mean, we do retreats, but we'll get to sessions. But I loved when everybody would go to bed and there was nobody left in the Zen. Well, there were just a few of us. And you sit up and they turn out all the lights. It gets really quiet. And somehow, I mean, I didn't think about this. I didn't make I would sit for a while, and then I would get up and go to the altar, and I would curl up on the zabuton in front of the altar, and I felt just like a wild fox who had come home. And that was my ritual every session. I was so happy to come home, and somehow I had to do it. Maybe I needed to be well. Anyway, there was something about the fox needed just the dead of night to be able to come forward and say, "Here I am." So one of the things they say about Baijan is that he was known for being articulate and incisive, being able to say true words, to be able to cut through. And his great accomplishment was that he developed rules and regulations for Buddhism. The ancient rules that were passed, that were created in China, weren't relevant for his time. They were fine. I mean, they were appropriate for the ancients, but he knew he had to make them accessible to people in his time. That it was important that Buddhism meet people in their own time and place. So no stock Buddhist understandings, no stock words. Like, that's not just going to do it. You have to enter this fully. And you have to study the self and study the world all the way through. Who are you? So he created a set of monastic rules that made it appropriate for his time, which I think we're trying to do now too. Is when you go to a monastery, there are, if you go to Tassajara, you pretty much follow the ancient rules and schedules. But I feel that, like each one of us, with sanghas that are a few steps away from the monastic, is we're trying to figure out how to keep something essential, but what do these bodies and hearts and minds need in this time to make this tradition alive and accessible? Because the essence of it is, this is from the Book of Serenity, commentary, the old man used to come and listen, finding quiet in the midst of the noise. How do we create a space and hold a space with and for each other, creating quiet in the midst of the noise, so that we can all come forward out of the shadows into our bowing body, into our yes I will body, into a joyful wild fox body that wants to live here with and for all beings. And you'll see in the precept ceremony, some of you already know, is you just keep saying, yes, I will. Yes, I will. This is impossible. I have no idea how to do it, but yes, I will. Here I am. The Book of Serenity says, if you fall into the words or ideas and try to imitate Baizhang or the Buddha, you too will be a fox spirit. Say a word that goes beyond dualistic discriminations and free yourself in this fox body. Say all the phrases you want. But the beautiful thing is we come and sit for a day. You know, we just embody it. We live it. What is it? I don't know. Why did you do this dumb thing? No, I don't know. Why are you all here? I mean, it's kind of a weird, odd, wonderful thing. But you can't figure it out in your head. Something in your body and your heart just wants to do this. Here's a capping verse. Self and other are two parts of the same reality. When the activity of the mind ceases, the 10,000 things return to the self where they have always been. Dogen says the 10,000 things come forward to enlighten you. So you just sit here today and your mind is probably blah, 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 blah. Then you notice and then you come back. Then you have some opinions. My knee hurts. Or who's the dumb person who's ringing the bell and I wish they'd hurry up and do it. Now whatever your mind's doing, anything could be happening here. But there's places, there's moments where it just gets quiet. And you can feel the intimacy of birdsong, or the breeze on your skin, or just the presence of somebody next to you, or the beating of your own heart. And then you just want to say, yes, I will. This is just forever. Waking up and falling down and getting up. This is it. Yes, I will. Here's another commentary. It took the old monk hundreds of lives to go to the monastery and ask a question. Just to ask a question. Sometimes our life is to suffer cause and effect without any understanding of why. Suffering a long time to learn and to wake up and to take responsibility for it and to use it for our own awakening and the awakening of the world. Yes, I will. And then you ask for help. You know you can't do this by yourself. Because you can't ask a question, well, you can keep asking it. I mean, it's really funny, like in ceremonies, sometimes when you're supposed to ask a question, and I've had the experience and others have too, is you think of a question and then you know the answer to it. So you think, why should I ask that question? I already know the answer to it. But there's something when you ask the question and include another human being and you do it with other human beings witnessing it, there's a potency to it. You can't figure this out by yourself. Then you come into relationship. So in the ceremony this afternoon, you do the confession and then you ask for help. And you ask for all the big Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to come and help you because you know, well, you've already asked for help because you're showing up and you've sewn a rakusu, but you call in all the big Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, which to me is just, it's like, I need so much help. I am so happy to confess how much help I need. I know I can't do this by myself. And it's always like, help me, help me. And then you do the 3 pure precepts. I vow to do good, essentially. I vow to do no harm. And I vow to act with others always in mind. Good actions, cause and effect. Good actions of body, speech, and mind. Create freedom and love and goodness for self and other. It's cause and effect. And negative actions. I want, I don't want. So, create suffering. But that's why you have to tend to clear mind precepts, because you know. It's just an acknowledgement of you're a human being. Of course you're going to want what you want and not want what you don't want, and you're going to get confused all the time. But there's these beautiful mere precepts that just say, not that you're bad, not that this is some impossible standard. You're a human being and these are here to help you. And you finally know you need help. And you just say, yes, I will. And in that simple act, you're already free. He was already free when he made it to the monastery and just said, I'm not a human being, I want to be here with all human beings, help me. Just to be a simple, grateful Buddhist monk. Person waking up to be a person, happy to be home, in relationship with everything and everyone. So does a greatly cultivated person fall into cause and effect? Just do good, just do your best. Don't worry about the road ahead, just each moment. Yes, I will. Here I am. And then for this afternoon, the people taking their vow of Soen Araksu, a little Buddhist, little mini Buddhist road. Well, it's not mini, it's the whole world. But it's beautiful because it's a template of rice fields. I mean, that's the story, is the Buddha was just looking out over the earth, and he saw, in his time, he saw the pattern of rice fields and said, let's sow the earth into this, and let's sew it together with each stitch. So you take this whole piece of cloth and you cut it up, which always seems to me like a great metaphor, because we come in completely whole, perfect, and complete, and then our karma, snip, 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 yeah, it's just like, but you're still whole, perfect, and complete, and you just sew it back together again with your deep intention and your vow and your goodness. And I just plunge into Buddha, I plunge into, yes, I will. And then you take these impossible vows, and everybody does it with you, and then we all just help each other. That's all. Because we've come out of the shadows. We just know we need help. And that we're Buddhas, waking up to be Buddha. Mountains and rivers and the great earth are the cave of the wild fox. This is it, folks. You have gained a precious human life. Good work. And it says it's a rare and precious thing. Don't waste this life. Receive and discard one piece of skin, flesh, and bones. You've got a body. You've got karma. Like, wow, good work. This is it. Cause and effect are very clear. And it's not a personal matter. Here together, waking up. This is great. You can go up in the hill and meet them at lunch. There's sheep and baby sheep that are now looking much more like grown-up sheep, and there's a llama, and it's fun to go visit them. So I thought I'd just read you the commentary by the three women chant masters. Mahjong. If you aren't blind, you won't fall. Fixing one mistake with another. Baizhang and the dead fox end up buried in the same hole. We're all blind. And we're all falling together. And we're all ending up, I don't know this is what she meant, but this is what I mean. We're all in the same hole. It's like tripping along this road with lots of holes. Where am I? And we're waking up. And we're helping the person next to us. Chan Master Bauchi. What is this body of a dead fox you're talking about? This endless wild talk misleads people and alarms them. Tut! Know that all the interlocking roof tiles are shattered. There's no need to fight and wrangle for first place. I got it. Do you have it? Do I have it because I have a brown robe? Do you not have it because you don't have a rakusu? I don't think so. I don't think that's what we're doing here. It just means, basically, I probably need this more than you because I know how deluded I am, and if it helps anybody, it certainly helps me. But here's the commentary on the roof tiles. It's from the Dhammapada, said to be uttered by the Buddha after his enlightenment and referring to the destruction of all of his delusions. He was a Buddha. His delusions got to be destroyed. And our delusions can be destroyed in a moment too. There are moments where it's so clear, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's just wide open. I got it. And then the next moment. House builder, you are seen. The house you shall not build again. Broken are your rafters all, your roof beam destroyed. Self, stop believing. Practice with stopping. Practice meeting our delusion that we are a solid, separate self. That's the root of our suffering and our delusion. And I'm completely, study your self-centeredness. That's what selves do. That's a healthy self. But then keep going beyond and beyond and beyond. And the last one, Chan Master Zuki. If one is not blind, one doesn't fall. For the great void is naturally vast. Each and every one of these manly men, how can they be held in restraint? So restraint, I don't know what she means, but practice and the precepts is often referred to as wise restraint. I never liked, most of these things I never used to like, and then you just sit with, it's like, what is wise restraint? It's just like, come back. Just keep coming back. You can just watch all the wild horses that just want to go have their own way. Action arises from right here. That's the Bodhisattva path. When the Tai sword is drawn whistling from its scabbard, the black snakes slither and slink through the dense growth. So that refers to, again, you need lots of notes in these things to know what the Chinese were talking about, which is why we're making this relevant for right now. Said to have manifested, it's the name of a famous sword of a Chinese legend that is said to have manifested its location to the poet and statesman, so a politician, good heavens, let's hope, pray, Zhang Hua, with a purple light reaching up into the heavens. So light that just cuts through everything. A sword, Manjushu's sword. It just cuts through duality, and it brings wisdom and compassion to the earth. That's what we're doing. So we keep coming home to being a true human being, the fabric of humanity, rejoining the web of causality, intimate, here, this very body, breath, mind, not outside of it. Embraced by and embracing cause and effect. Embraced by the whole world. Transforming the suffering of our lives into the path. The world is flexible and ever shifting. We find the wondrous along the flow. Along the way, humility, kindness, sense of humor, more tender heart. Maybe we cry more and we laugh more. It's each moment we get to choose. That's all. Moment after moment, forever. What we do is what we're given. Because this moment is the fruition of all the moments across time and space, is this moment. This is it. That's really all there is. Just this, just this, just this. Bhikkhu Bodhi, who is the translator, Pali, Theravada monk, has been talking about conscious compassion. You know, but the fruit of practice is compassion. But compassion isn't conscious compassion. It's like, and what's the appropriate response? The whole world is asking that of us. So we'll just keep helping each other in this wild fox cave of awakening and being grateful for this precious wild fox human body spirit. So please, don't miss this day. It's like, wow, an amazing June day. Don't miss it. Okay, thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening. It's on the first page of the chant book again,